Okay, today we'll be changing the oil on my 2010 Chevy Equinox. And what we'll need is our oil drain container, some sockets, paper towels, a funnel, and gloves recommended. Now to drain the oil, we're going to need a 15mm socket, and to change the oil filter, we're going to need a 32mm. And as for where the oil filter is, excuse my lighting, it's right down here behind the yellow dipstick. Right there. First thing we're going to do today is go ahead and jack the car up so we can get under it. Now once the car's jacked up, you're good to go. Always remember, just for a little bit of safety, you may want to leave your jack stand under there, not holding up the weight of the car, but just as an added security measure. And also, put some bricks or a piece of wood behind your rear tires, just in case the car does start to roll backwards. Now personally, I like the oil warmed up a little when I change the oil, so let's go ahead and let the car run for a few minutes. Alright, we're all set. And just to give you an idea of where we're working, we're laying under the front passenger side of the vehicle. Here's the front passenger tire. There's my feet. Right here, here's the oil drain plug that we have to loosen. Now if you're anything like me, this is the messy part. We're going to go ahead, I've already pre-loosened it, just for ease of filming. We're going to go ahead, loosen it by hand, and hopefully it's going to drip into this oil pan. Like I said, if you're like me, it's going to get ugly. One quick piece of advice: when you are loosening it by hand, you're going to, loosen it or spin it, but still push it in. That way the oil doesn't start leaking out prematurely. And once you start seeing oil come out, just pop it out and let it go. Okay, not bad. Didn't make a mess this time. So what we'll do is we'll just let it run till it's empty, and we'll change the oil filter in the meantime. Okay, for the oil filter, this one's always fun to try to get off. I got my 32mm there, a little extender, and then my smaller ratchet just to get it off. It's always a little tricky to budge at first. There we go. She's loose, so now we'll just loosen the rest by hand. Okay. And I always suggest, before you pull it out, go ahead and get some paper towels ready to lay it on, because it's a little messy. There we are. And that's just a quick shot to compare old with new. There's only 3,000 miles on this oil filter too. So if your new oil filter comes with an O-ring too, I recommend changing it. You'll see it says orange one on the filter cap. So go ahead and just replace that. Alright, and once you get the O-ring on, you can just snap the oil filter right into the lid and twist her back into place. I usually hand tighten, then I'll use my socket just to give it a little extra oomph, but don't go too tight on that. And as we can see down below, she's finished draining, so we'll head over there next. Alright, and once the oil stops dripping, go ahead, put the drain plug right back in, hand twist it. I always wipe it off too, just wipe off the whole area. You don't want extra oil everywhere, so just give it a nice wipe down. Should be good to go. And I always tighten it all the way by hand, and then again tighten it a little bit more with my ratchet, but not too much. You don't want to strip anything. Okay, and when it's time to add the oil, we just have to double check how much we need. I have the 2.4 liter, so 4.7 liters or 5 quarts, and as luck would have it, it's exactly what I have here. I use 5W30 full synthetic. So we're just going to go ahead, untwist the cap, just take your little funnel, put it in, and we're ready to pour her in. Okay, so I went and poured some in, and what I always do, I always just double check for leaks. So we're going to look under, check if anything's dripping. I don't see anything, so it looks like we're good to just pour the rest in. Alright, we'll put on the lid and we'll start her up. The next thing we want to do is check the oil level with our dipstick. So I like to start the car, let it run for a little bit. That way the oil gets a chance to circulate through the engine. Alright, checked the oil level with our dipstick. Everything looks good. Hope this video has been helpful. Feel free to give it a thumbs up or comment. Let me know how I'm doing, and I'll keep putting out videos just like this.